Trump and Kash Patel are going to have a press conference, talk about crime. Crime's coming down. That's a good thing. I still don't want National Guard in the streets. I don't think we need that. I don't think we do. It's not what we need. But crime is coming down, everybody. Crime is coming down. So we've got that handled. So we'll see what they have to say. Probably something about Valhalla. Oh, Chad, that's not very nice. Some of you were mad at me because last hour we were talking about Britney Spears. And you know the thing about somebody like Britney Spears is she was a child star. People watched her grow up. People sexualized her. I had somebody the other day go, "You're being gross." I'm like, she's 43 years old, okay? So let's get over it. She's not, they don't stay the same age, right? Despite what Matthew McConaughey said. But you're watching a human being melt down in real time in front of millions of people. That's a tough, and we've turned it into entertainment, and it's a sad situation. Oh, it's when Dr. Phil had, oh God, what was her name? Olive oil on. I always forget her damn name. Shelley
Duvall.
Yeah. That was so bad. It was so awful to watch. Somebody who was completely not there, but somebody who we all used to love. She's one of the greatest, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
She
got totally consumed by her own mental illness.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably also why she was kind of a good actor. That does help at times. Yeah. It's horrible. So we'll see what they have to say. Pentagon, they want to see what they can do. I think they want to see what they can get away with when it comes to, everybody's been asking me, why isn't Memphis a bigger story? Like Chicago or, anywhere else. I said, because the governor called. It's a different thing. When Governor Lee calls and says, because it's the governor, hey, I want you to go over here to Memphis. Well, the governor's called, so that took away all of the, controversy. But it's different when, I want you guys to think about this. If Trump wasn't there and Governor Lee, wasn't paying that kind of attention where this, I think we should do it here. And Gavin Newsom or Pritzker decided to send 500 National Guard to Memphis, people lose their minds. And rightly so. Absolutely. Rightly so. So, but it's not a big deal because once the governor calls, it changes everything. They're in on it. They're not having it thrust upon them. They're in on what is going on. They've requested it. So we'll see what they're going to talk about later, the crime. It's one thing I'm always curious about when I look at Democrats and the way that they approach crime. And by that, I mean progressive. Let's be real. Not extremes, because extremes on both sides, they dominate a conversation they should never dominate because they've got a bully pulpit. And we, as the exhausted majority, and that's what I consider us to be, we need to start taking back the conversation, bringing it back to reason, bringing it back to critical thinking, and trying to find fixes for these things. Politicians, if they solve a problem, that's one less thing for them to be reelected with. And if you don't think that's true, go look at, some people are built for certain things. Winston Churchill guided the Brits through World War II. He was living in the world of 90% approval rating. Then the election came right after World War II, and they kicked him out on his ass because he wasn't the person for that job. So they see that every problem is an opportunity not to solve it, but to keep us divided and fighting each other. And that infuriates me. More than, it drives me so crazy that you can't have conversations with people. And we should want that. We should want to, right or left. Right or left, that's just a bunch of hooey. That's a tribal thing because it's good for the tribe. Most people don't live in an echo chamber, thank God. There are some of you that do on both sides of the aisle. I hear from you every day. I hear from you every day because I will talk about a subject and I'll get 2 separate text messages completely opposite because everybody, what do you call it, Van Gogh hearing? Is that what it is?
Phil would say they were a Van Gogh listener because they were only listening with one ear.
Speaking of somebody who was crazy, who, by the way, was super crazy, not just the ear thing. We'll read his story. But
he means Van Gogh, people, not Phil.
Yeah, not Phil. Van Gogh. And I hope you guys understand it. Some of you might not. Well, I heard that. But I want to, I always say, everybody, I want to bridge the gap. That's kind of what we do on the show. We have a lot of fun because we treat the show like it's life. Ken and I and Bell, we BS about all kinds of crap all the time, just like normal people do. We're not 24/7 politics. And that's why we do the show different, but it's always about bridging the gap across the board. I don't want to be lied to by politicians, but they lie to us. And the funny thing is, they can get away with it because people are stupid. They won't even check. We were talking earlier about the PSA from the Hallmark Channel. Well, if Mario Lopez, who just did Christmas and whatever, sends you a text message and says, I need X amount of money, can you wire it or Venmo me? I'm glad you like my shows. And you can't do 2 seconds of research. It's easy to see why they can pull the wool over everybody's eyes by lying to you about everything. They make everything out to be the biggest deal in the world. We've lost the art of nuance. We've lost the art of conversation. And that's sad. It is. Because, man, I love, people always ask, which side of the aisle you're on? I'm on America's side. I'm on our side. I don't care about everybody else's side. I want the truth. I'm on our side. What does it look like? And truth can suck, man. We all know that. We absolutely know that. But like even now, watching them with the government shutdown, they're all blaming each other. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's his fault. No, it's both of your faults. Adults would come, they would do their job, they would get over it. We're at the point now where it matters about likes, clicks, shares. What's your celebrity score? Being a celebrity politician. How much money are you raising? Did you fire off some funny memes? And while all that's going on, they're doing other things that are helping themselves, but not us. And the reason is, and I love this. I'm going to play this thing for you. This is awesome. This is about nuance. There's a little cussing here. I want to make sure I got rid of it. Yeah, okay, cool. This is about nuance. You guys remember, does everybody know what nuance is? Raise your hand. You know what nuance is?
Isn't that like when you put a new lighting thing on the side of the wall?
It's exactly it. Right next to your sconce.
New sconce?
Yeah, new sconce. But this, especially with social media and everything else, is everything you need to know about modern politics.
Nuance is dead because we couldn't monetize it. You can't fit, it's complicated, and I'm still figuring it out, into a viral tweet. Can't build a personal brand around, honestly, I don't know. The algorithm doesn't reward patience or intellectual humility. It rewards certainty, outrage, and picking a side so aggressively that people either worship you or want you dead. We've turned every conversation into warfare. You're either enlightened or ignorant, woke or problematic, with us or against us. No in between. No yes and. Just binary thinking dressed up as moral clarity. The Stoics called it apatheia, freedom from destructive emotions through clear thinking.
Yeah. I mean, we can't. The internet doesn't reward you for having a conversation and going, you know what, I got to check on that. Let me see what that is. Is that real or not real? That's why when you watch these shows and they all yell at each other, those things are as reality TV as it gets. They invite you on those things. They tell you these are the people you're going to be talking with, and they'll tell you in your ears, go hard, because the harder you go, the more your take is out in a certain area, the more people talk about it. Guess what? The more of an opportunity is to come back. Not whether or not you're right or wrong.
We've achieved the opposite. Enslavement by reactive feelings while genuinely believing we're the rational ones. We haven't built communities, just echo chambers. Bunkers to hide in because reality is too contradictory to handle. We outsourced our entire moral development to platforms designed to farm our insecurity for engagement. They don't want us to grow. They want us addicted. And nuance is terrible for addiction. Nuance makes you pause, question, sit with discomfort. The algorithm needs you to react now. So we scroll past our capacity for critical thinking, mistake consensus for truth, and call it enlightenment. We'd rather be wrong together than right alone. Reality doesn't do either or. Reality is both and. And we're so scared of that complexity we've chosen comfortable delusions over uncomfortable truth.
Oh, I love that.
Can I say one thing a little off subject?
Please.
People have got to stop using that AI voice.
Yeah, they do.
I'm so over it. I want that person to be real. So
I've got some new AI voices I'll roll out here tomorrow because we've been playing around with AI. We'll talk about AI coming up in a little bit because, man, Sam Altman yesterday, he hit the nuclear. He hit the we're here first, so we win when it comes to AI. But what he said was absolutely spot on, or whatever it is. Again, don't name your AI because then it's too late. But the nuance, the conversation, being able... They want us divided. And I'll hear from you guys, oh, the left is the worst thing in the history of the world. They're all evil. No, the extremes.
Trump is the worst president in our lifetime.
Trump's a Nazi. Again, the extremes will say stuff like that. Or like our white woman Wednesday. She says stuff. It's all the extremes because we like to laugh at it and it's fun. But is it based in reality? No, because extremes live in extremes. But does everybody live in extremes? No. 85, 90% of us live little center left, little center right. We like our neighbors. We have friends that are probably on both sides of the aisle, and they don't take extremist views. We may disagree in a few things, but we don't have the bully pulpit the way we should. And we need to start taking that back. We should demand that our government do the things they're supposed to do. We're so divided right now because it's good entertainment. It is good entertainment. I mean, I've got friends that go on all those talking head shows, and they'll just tell me, I don't know, I can't do it. Because I've said I don't do it. And I got yelled at by, God, what was her name? I forgot her name. She's
Kylie from Brown.
No, she always yells at me. It was one of those shows, and I can't, because first of all, I can't overreact to stuff, and I laugh at a lot of this stuff. I just roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, God, because it's so stupid. It's an overreaction. It's like, and you got to take the most outlandish, over-the-top thing when you're stating your thing. Well, I'm going to go one further, and you're like, okay.
And if you're not going over the top, they don't get the satisfaction of that to broadcast, so they're like, well, this guy's not giving us what we want.
Yeah. And then you don't get invited back. And if your goal is to be invited back, then you've got to you got to dance. You got to do your thing. And they get mad if I got up and danced.
So if they're not going to invite you back a second time, just get up and do it anyway.
Yeah. I forgot. I was on one of those crime shows. Was it Nancy Grace? Who's the one with the Southern accent?
Nancy Grace.
So they invited me on the show to talk about crime and something. And they were going through all these crime things. And one of them was, there was this dad and this little girl, and they were on like an Airbnb, and they died in the swimming pool. They got electrocuted. And they couldn't, the light had come free, and it was, you couldn't see. Obviously, there's nothing in there. But when you got close to it, it ended up killing both of them. And it was horrible. And they're like, everybody's like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And they were just going over the top with everything. And she's like, Chad, what do you think we should do? I said, well, based on everything I hear, I think we should arrest the pool.
Which is, that's obvious sarcasm.
Yeah.
But it shows how ridiculous the extremes were.
Yeah. Two people died here. What do I think should happen? I think it was a tragic accident. I don't think the Airbnb person goes, I got a great idea, I'm going to kill some people. No, and I don't think the people...
This will be number 8 and 9.
Yeah. I mean, see if you guys leave me a bad, Yelp review, whatever it is you leave there. It was just... And I realized, I don't want to do this. You got to be nuts. Nobody wants to watch... It's like reality television. If the Real Housewives all went to dinner, talked about their kids, laughed a little bit, had a couple drinks, got up and walked out, gave each other hugs, nobody'd watch. But if they're pulling each other's wigs off and food's flying, we're paying attention. That's the extremes. And everybody buys into it. Drives me crazy. Coming up, White Woman Wednesday. Speaking of extremes, Belle asked me, talk a little about that. We got our One Hit Wonder Wednesday as well. This is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99. Did you see the movie Weapons? I said, sure did. Rented it this weekend, watched it. It is not what you expect, and it is creepy. It is not what you expect. And the thing is, you can't even really explain it because any part of it, because it's a giveaway. But it is a creepy, cool movie. If you've not seen Weapons, Josh Brolin's in it.
Love Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he's great.
Who's the old woman teacher?
She's not old. She's young.
No, there's an old woman in it. Maybe she wasn't the teacher then, but there was a really old woman in it in one of the clips I saw.
Yeah, okay, with the crazy hair and stuff?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out who the actor was.
She is, oh, God, what's her name? Is it, she is, first of all, she's crazy. But secondly, is it Amy? It's not Amy Madigan? I
Yep.
forget. Yeah.
Amy Madigan.
Yeah. It's just, the movie is so weird and creepy. And the twists are there. It's such a bizarre premise. And then you go, I got to watch that again. I'm not quite sure I got everything.
Now, when you say weird, are you saying it's hard to follow? Or?
No, it's easy to follow, but it's got that sixth sense where you're like, oh, but you're not quite sure. It's just
A lot of detail.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's straightforward.
But you kind of need a second viewing to absorb everything.
Yeah, maybe just to take it all in. And the other thing in it, too, you know who else is good? Is, was it Aiden Caleb Enrich or whatever his name? They thought he was the next Warren Beatty. That guy's good in it. The whole movie is just, I loved it. It was awesome. And I love horror movies. Last night I watched Cabin in the Woods. Have you seen that?
A Knock at the Cabin or Cabin in the Woods?
The Cabin in the Woods.
I actually watched that this weekend, and I plan to watch it again with the sound up.
Yeah, you should. That helps, by the way. That does.
I need to watch that.
So, have you seen it or no?
I have not.
It's just...
It's always on the screen, but I just never have watched it.
Josh Whedon, who does all these great movies, The Avengers and everything, he did this in 2009.
Yeah, it was like one of Chris Hemsworth's earliest movies.
So he did the movie, Hemsworth, and when everybody came to audition for it, they didn't want anybody to know, so everybody read for fake parts, and they're like, okay, Chris Hemsworth was one of the guys. Then they went and shot the movie, and during the dailies, the people that were getting ready to do Red Dawn saw him and said, we're going to cast him as our lead. He hadn't even done Thor or anything yet. Then I think it was MGM went bankrupt. And it was one of the few properties that they were almost finished with. They said, we're going to keep this because we're going to reorganize. And then they held on to it for another 2 years before they released it. The movie is amazing. It's creepy. It's got twists and turns, and it's got Richard Jenkins, who's a great actor.
It was R-rated, right?
Yeah.
See, now, my issue with that, though, is it's R-rated, and I didn't see a single boobie.
No, there was no boobie in it.
That's an issue.
Sigourney Weaver's in it. She's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Bradley, was his name, Whitmore from West Wing. He's in it. The movie's just awesome. And it's a trip because it combines all these amazing things, monsters and folklore and all this stuff, modern technology. It's just a trip. I love that movie. It's like, I love Halloween, but that...
I never watched it when it was first out and when it first got on digital because the way they marketed the movie, it made it sound like it was just a slasher flick.
Yeah, and it's anything
and I was like, I don't want to see
Yeah,
it.
see, I like the spiritual scary movies.
You will love this because it's got a little bit of spiritual kind of thing on it as well as
good and evil.
Good and evil. And you find out that some of the people you think are good are very evil.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Easter eggs that refer to other horror movies.
Yes, tons, because that's Josh Whedon's thing.
I love it.
That's Josh Whedon's thing is always about putting something in there that is an Easter egg. And it's the movie's cool. If you guys want to check it out, it's called Cabin in the Woods. I think you guys like it. They're not paying me anything for it. But Josh, if you're in town, let me know. We'd love to talk to you.
I got to watch Long Legs again.
Oh, that was so great. Have you seen Weapons? Did you see Weapons?
I have not seen it. I just texted my wife. I said, look, let's just pay the $10 and watch it this weekend.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed. It is super creepy awesome. Just because, again, you can't even say anything about it. And the funny thing, I was watching this interview today with Richard Jenkins, who did the Cabin in the Woods, and he said, we did the movie, We didn't know what our parts were. Then we did, and then they held it for 3 years, and everybody knew we did it, and we were never allowed to tell anybody what we did.
Oh.
And people said, what is it? We can't tell you.
Why did they sit on it for 3 years? COVID?
No, because of bankruptcy. So MGM went into bankruptcy. They wanted to keep it because it was almost done when they filed for bankruptcy reorg. They had to dip in and give out sell some of their IPs and lease some of their. They said, we're holding on to this.
Got you.
So, all right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about the One Hit Wonders we've got, plus some of your text messages. If you miss any of these shows, shame on you. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I remember. I remember now.
Pickleball here. Big
little-
pickleball.
Or as we call it, P-ball. Little
P-ball. That's right.
I don't know. I don't know
That's
what
it.
I'm
Little
talking
P. Little P-ball, baby. So we're talking little Rick.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out. I'm now being told by Abigail the abuser it's time to, explore the arm.
It's mental now.
Right. You got to explore the arm. You got to use the arm. You can do everything you need to do.
Without feeling
Going to be
like
a little bit sore probably.
But you also, it's like when people get hurt in sports like pro athletes, it takes a while to get back because even though their body's fine, mentally it's still that, like, if I fall, I'm going to,
And everyone listening and, particularly those of you watching on the various platforms, you look at me and you think, well, professional athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this guy.
You do.
I mean, right? But no, you're right.
You think
you're
bowler.
Right. You think there's a guy that goes, that course doesn't have carts? Okay, we need to find a different course.
Didn't you play tight end for Georgia?
Because I'm not back in the day, baby.
Back in the day.
Back in my day, I could have been a linebacker with the dogs. I could have thrown a ball a quarter mile.
So
what's going on? What am I talking about today? See, you normally ask me that question. Now I have to ask you that question because I've been so discombobulated
this
and
one
I'm
I think
sick.
You're talking about. You're going to be talking about the thing with the guy, and there was that Cash Patel and Trump. They're doing something.
All of those people
with a thing, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
And then they hate it, but they love it.
That's it, and that was awesome. You're going to be doing some of that. You're going to talk probably a little bit of government shutdown, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Government shutdown's kind of boring me.
It is boring.
Measles outbreak?
This is the way that most of us would deal with every government shutdown that's ever been, except that for most of them, I think the Democrats had a better hand to play.
Yeah.
And so the media went with it and they freaked everybody out. But now I don't think the Democrats have a great hand to play.
Neither. Nobody's paying attention. Outside, if it wasn't,
obviously, if it directly
not getting paid,
right,
nobody would care.
And I still don't think most people care.
No, well, 1 in 3 people last week, according to the latest poll, didn't even know the government was closed.
Well, the wonderful thing that the GOP has going for them is that every question asked about this, all they have to say is if Chuck Schumer wanted to open this up, he could open it up today. And these are at Biden spending levels.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. And it's hard to argue against that. So, nobody's
again,
eventually it'll become a story and eventually it'll get solved.
Well, once it starts to affect the everyday average person because they realize, oh, we're not getting this or I'm not getting that or my company that we do, contracting with the government, we're not doing this anymore. Then it becomes the story but enough people, critical mass has to be reached.
I'm a little bit concerned that there's not more recognition about how I have been impacted personally by the government shutdown. I was not able to go up to the top of the St. Louis Arch. I've said this many, many times. I went to St. Louis. I had my tickets, and they were closed. And I was not allowed to go up. You can go up in the tram, and you can go to the top, and you can see the river, and you can see all the stuff. Nope.
Why?
Because the government was shut down.
That's one of those things where they don't. It's like remember when Obama's like, I'm going to just shut down the national parks. You don't have to. Yeah, but I can.
No, Obama, the funny thing about that, and I was there when this happened, the World War II Museum on the National Mall that has nobody manning it.
Yeah.
They had to put people there to tell them not to move the barricades.
They had to hire extra people to stand there to not
I
do
think
something.
That is going against the whole, anyway.
That's American politics.
And we're talking property taxes because a lot of people are pissed about their property taxes going up. Where were you people when they were actually voting on it? I tried to get you I went to the city council meeting.
You should have.
There was nobody there.
By the way, we were going to get into this today. We'll get into it tomorrow. It is a nightmare when you see that some of these people, especially on Broadway, are looking at $500,000 to $1 million. It's that
$12 beer is about to become a $16 beer real quick.
Real quick. And